Friday here at Gen Con 2026 rocks on, and I am visiting with my friends from Monte Cook Games, and one of the big names from Monte Cook Games is Sean K. Reynolds, but he couldn't make it to this interview, so I've got this guy I'm talking to.
Hey, how's it going?
Sean, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you in person.
So let's chat, because you got a huge release following a very, very successful crowdfunding run. And it is the new edition of Cypher.
Yes.
I'm going to have some questions for you about it.
I'm ready.
And he's not been briefed on
Not
these
at all.
questions, because I am a hard-hitting investigator. So, big release here is the character book, right?
Cypher character rulebook, yes. It's basically the player's handbook for the new edition of Cypher.
And as far as being able to pick it up right now and start playing, can you play just from the player's handbook?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a GM's guide that is coming out soon.
Right.
It'll have like example creatures and a lot of advice for running Cypher, but everything you need to play and even run the game is in the Cypher character rulebook.
And if someone's not familiar with Cypher, I keep wanting to say Cypher System, but
Sure,
I know
the
that's
old
not
name.
the name,
Yep.
right? Which I am familiar, but some folks out there might not be. Give a little elevator pitch.
So Cypher originated out of the Numenera game that we crowdfunded 12 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then we used that same rule system to make a game called The Strange, where you're kind of jumping from fictional reality to fictional reality. And at that point we realized, since we're able to do sci-fi and fantasy and superheroes, why don't we just take all those rules out and make it its own game called the Cypher System. And last year, we crowdfunded the new edition of Cypher, and that is what is out now at Gen Con. Cypher is a super easy to play, super easy to run game. I've run many one-shot convention games where my entire notes as a GM consists of one 3x5 card. Character creation is super fast. You can build a character in about 5 minutes, and it covers any genre, like dungeon fantasy, high fantasy, hard sci-fi, space opera, cyberpunk, superheroes, modern, all that sort of stuff. It's very versatile, very easy to play, easy to learn, and so adaptable. We have a bunch of different licensed games like Old Gods of Appalachia, the Magnus Archives, Tidal Blades. We've adapted these rules to so many different settings and genres. It's a really fun system. I love working on it. I love playing it and running it. I'm actually running 3 different home games using this system and playing in 2 others.
And you have many, many setting books, not only other IPs. You've got the Neon Rain, which is cyberpunk.
That's right.
You've got High Noon at Midnight, which is Weird West. But one thing I appreciated about that book is that you don't have to run it as Weird West. If you want to run, it's like, hey, it's like a modern Boot Hill. You certainly could do that with it, which I definitely love. And I know you've probably got a few setting books on the horizon. I don't know if you can talk about them or not.
Sure. So Shauna is wrapping up, my co-designer, Shauna Germain, one of the founders of Monte Cook Games.
I've interviewed Shauna. You may have seen it, folks.
She is wrapping up the new version of Predation, which is time travelers have gone to the past, to the Cretaceous era, and they are working with dinosaurs. They know that the meteor is coming, but they can't leave because time travel doesn't work.
Right.
Bruce is working on the new version of The Strange, which is the kind of dimension-hopping reality, different versions of reality game that we did a few years ago.
Which I experience all the time.
And I am currently doing some of the legwork for the new version of Numenera that we just crowdfunded.
I was curious about that. And I always found Numenera interesting because it's, to me, it's science fantasy.
It is
I don't know if
science
that's
fantasy.
how you would
Absolutely.
want to describe it. Very unique, though. So it's not sort of like some science fantasy is, which I'm happy with, don't get me wrong. It's more like Sword and Planet. Mm-hmm. That is not this.
No, Numenera is Earth 1 billion years in the future. There's remnants of old technology lying around everywhere, and although human culture is kind of in a pseudo-medieval sort of setting, like you could have a warrior whose armor is made out of like the broken off pieces of a battle robot. You know, your sorcerer character who uses fire, well, you don't have fire magic, you have nanobots in your blood that react to your thoughts and project microwaves. So it's definitely all science-based, it's just wild.
So let's talk a little bit about Cypher itself, because one thing that I've personally seen and I've heard from people is the reason why they've kind of shied away from Cypher is because they just don't understand the Cypher.
You mean the actual ciphers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so ciphers originated from Numenera, and the idea was, it kind of came from, you played a D&D game where you're like, oh, I'm a 12th level character. Oh, I still have that potion of healing that I found when I was level 2, and I've been saving it just in case. But you're like, that only heals 4 hit points. I have 130 hit points. I really should have used it in that fight long ago.
Right.
So ciphers are little one-use items in the game.
One-shots, yeah.
And you have a limit to how many you can carry, because we don't want you to hoard them. We want you to use them, because you're going to keep finding more.
Right.
And so we rather have these cool things that are like basically a one-shot ability that your character has. We think of them more as, this is an ability my character has for this session. And so your character's kind of dynamically changing. You're like, okay, I've got a cool cipher. I can use this cipher to solve this encounter problem or defeat this boss, and I'll get another cipher, but who knows what it'll be. So the next time I have a fight or have to jump across a cliff or something, I'm going to have different resources, and I'm not going to be able to solve it the same way. But the whole point is, you're going to find more ciphers, so use them because they're fun.
And if I'm pretty sure I remember correctly, you'll have a limit that if you find ciphers and you're at your limit, you're out of luck.
Yeah, like you could pick up another cipher, but there's a chance that there'll be some like incompatible radiation, or one of them like go off. Like if you played first edition D&D, there was the old potion missability table.
Yeah,
if you like drank 2 potions too quickly, like oh explosion, or you get a mutation, blah blah. Cypher does that. Like you can carry more ciphers if you want, but over time the GM's going to be like, oh, you've been holding too many ciphers. Weird stuff's going to start happening. Like oh crap, well, I should take that healing cipher, so I'm at my limit and I'm fine.
Right. So let's jump back to the two, because you've got other fairly new stuff out. We've got a new source book for Old Gods of Appalachia, and also for Magnus Archives.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Magnus Archives.
Definite article.
Trademark. And let's talk a little bit about that. And before we get into Old Gods of Appalachia, I shared this in my review. The thing that impressed me the most is because a lot of holler horror role-playing games out there, to me, feel a little disrespectful to the people who actually live in the region. Like, they're all hayseeds and they're all dirt poor. I have to say, I really appreciated Shauna's take on those people. That it's respectful, it's still cool, it's not kind of goofy holler horror, it's serious horror.
Yeah, well, it's because the creators of Gods of Appalachia, the podcast, Cam and Steve, are from that region. They are connected, they're part of the community. They're talking about the people they grew up with. They're talking about family members. That's the region they came from. And one of our staff members, Tammy Ryan, she grew up in Pound, which is just this tiny little town in Appalachia. And so she's kind of our in-house cultural consultant for that sort of thing. So we've always tried to treat the community and the culture with respect, because these are real people, and this is real events in less than 150 years ago. And so we're trying to give that authentic experience of living in that time period without falling back on some really weak and easy stereotypes.
Right. Pat, like I said, I definitely appreciate that. So let's talk about the new book real quick.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't work on the Old Gods stuff because I've been working on Numenera and Cypher. So we had a crowdfund about 1.5 years ago, and there was a book that was adventures, a book of more creatures and stuff, and a book of character options, and I have honestly lost track of which one is coming out or is out right now. And the same thing for the Magnus Archives. Like we have a trio of books. Bruce is wrapping up the last one, or has wrapped up the last one, and so. But it's the whole thing was, let's do more for Old Gods.
Accessing my memory banks, and I could very well be wrong here, everybody. I think the new Old Gods of Appalachia book is Game Master facing.
Okay.
Because I think the last one was player facing.
Okay.
Magnus Archives, the new one, I'm not sure. So you and I are probably equal with that.
I mean, the whole thing is more adventures, more character options, more weird creatures, and just more stuff for the original release that we did. It's just more.
Right. And more is good.
More is
always good.
I mean, that's the
We're Americans. That's how we work.
Yeah.
It's always
I mean,
we want more.
As a person who is a grown adult and has a house and a job, like, you get to the point where, oh, I don't have time to prep for the game this week. It's really nice to have, you know, a book of monsters, a book of adventures. You can just drop in a one-shot, and you're ready to go. We're just trying to give more stuff for the busy GM and for the busy players out there, just to make gaming less of a chore. Because sometimes there's a lot of prep involved in a game. And it's nice to just kind of lower that burden so you can just focus on having fun with your friends.
Last thing, is there anything you're working on that you would like to maybe tease for the audience, Sean?
Well, so the Cypher character rulebook is out here at Gen Con now, and coming up is the character options book for Cypher, because when we were working on this CCR, we had so many things to put into it, and we realized that the book was going to be too big for the price that we had set for it.
Right.
And our art director, Bear Wider, said, well, why don't you just take a bunch of that extra material and make it into a separate book? So we're having a separate character options book that's like another 96 pages of types and foci and equipment. Like, all the cyberpunk stuff is going to be in there. There's additional post-apocalyptic stuff. So if you love cyberpunk, if you love post-apocalyptic, and if there's a favorite character type or focus that didn't make it into the CCR, it's probably in the character options book.
Okay.
And then meanwhile, I'm working on Numenera, which is just even more stuff.
Does the character, it's the character handbook, not player handbook. Is that hitting retail, say, late August, early September-ish?
It should be. I mean, this is kind of an early preview here at Gen Con, but
that's usually how it is.
Yeah,
so.
we have started fulfilling it to backers. We have it here at the show, and it should be, I'm guessing, a mid to late August release for stores.
Nice, very cool. Any final words you'd like to share with the audience, Sean?
Just thanks for all your support. Keep listening to this guy, and I hope you enjoy whatever games you're playing.
Thank you very much for taking the time out.
you.
It's super busy in there. That's why we're out in the hall.
Can't hear in there, it's too loud.